Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to The Loud House, Season 2, Episodes 21 through 23. So, I'll say right off the bat, I do know the title of the first one of these episodes, Episode 21, which is Pets Peeved. And I want to talk about that real quick before I get to anything else. The pets in the Loud House, the dog, the cat, whatever, have never really been that cool, in my opinion. Like they've never really had any valuable thing to add to the series. It's like, oh, these are kids, they're going to want pets and all. And it's like, there's a bunch of different pets, sometimes a bunch of different kinds of pets and stuff. And it's like, one, it almost seems like new ones are just kind of added in at points. and two, I think it would just work so much better if they were cut down. I think there's too many of them. They're trying too hard to, like, kind of, I guess, add enough because there's so many kids or whatnot. But I think it would make sense if there were maybe, like, a dog and a cat. Just one of each of those. I think it would just work better than having all of these different pets. Because it's like, they really have nothing to add to the series. I mean, I guess until now, until this episode, maybe. And really, they're just kind of there. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm, like, against this episode right off the bat or anything. It's just I'm worried about it, that it's not really going to feel necessary. That being said, so far this season and the series has really begun to get a grip of itself, has really begun to figure out what it wants to do, and has been doing it well. Now, not every episode has been great, of course, but it's been getting a lot better overall, and been doing a lot of great things with its characters, especially just by having focus on different characters other than Lincoln and Clyde. Such as the episode we had recently with Lori, focusing on her and her party and everything. And I want to see more of that. I just really want to see more of that through these episodes, as I've been saying, like, the entire time, pretty much. And I hope we do get more of that. Now, I don't know how many episodes are in this season offhand. I do want to check that real quick, so give me a moment to go to Kim Cartoon. I want to know this because, to be honest, I do usually at this point 3 episodes a week, right? And there's a point where it's like it's getting to be a lot, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the number of episodes that it just feels so overwhelming almost, because there's just so many of them. If this comes up though, I'll because a lot of places, I'm specifically looking on here, because a lot of places will, for some reason, list the episodes as being, as like, oh, this is episode 1A and 1B, but no. It's episode 1 and 2. That's how I'm going through it, at least. But yeah, it's just, that's how I've been told to go through it as well when I first started this out, pretty much. It's not coming up. Come on. I just want to find out the exact amount of episodes. But yeah, it's like sometimes it does feel a little overwhelming, and that's why I had to take a break from it in the first place before. Because it just felt like it was starting to get to be a little too much at times. Because it's like you're reacting to the same thing week after week after week, and some people can handle that, but I'm not one of those people. I a lot of times feel like I have to take a break. And so I just want to... Okay, there's 46 episodes. We're halfway through with this season after these episodes. Literally, like, episode 23, which will be our last episode today, is halfway through this season. So yeah. It's just, it's kind of, it sometimes feels really hard to get through all of this, admittedly. and I can pretty much say at this point that I might have to take another break from the series. Granted, it will not be as long as last time. It won't. It's just there's so much of it to handle, you know? And it just feels like a lot going week after week. I'm not dropping it though. Don't even start to think that. It's really just starting to get good, like really good. So I'm not dropping it anytime soon. I don't plan on dropping it really, at all, unless I absolutely have to for timing reasons or whatnot. And at that point, I think it more likely just be on hold. Either way. Yeah, I'm excited to see what we have going for this. I'm excited to see how things are for the future, and I hope that we start to get a lot more big episodes soon, because the episodic nature works in some ways, but at points it does start to feel a little much. So it's just like, I want to get through a lot of this. Maybe 1 week also I'll do like this big marathon of them. That's always possible too. But in the meantime, we'll keep going, and we'll see where it goes from here. So yeah, other than the title of the first one, I have no idea what any of these episodes are about. I don't know any of the other titles. But like I said, I am excited to find out, and I really hope we get more of more focus on other characters as well this week. So let's just get in with this. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I want to apologize first of all for the issue we had in the reaction. Yeah, it's just it was a mistake on my end. What I think happened here is, when I was downloading the episodes, I downloaded episodes 21 and 22, but then when I was downloading 23, I think I accidentally saved it under 22, and it just rewrote the file. And I noticed that before I started recording, that I only had 21 and 22, so I thought for some reason 23 didn't download. So I went and re-downloaded 23, so basically what was listed as 22 was 23. And so I had 23 on there twice, and 22 just wasn't. So I had to get that all re-downloaded. It took irritatingly long. But I got it handled and everything. And yeah, it is good to go. Though the episode you saw last, the final episode we reacted to, was actually episode 22, and we reacted to episode 23 second. So they're a little out of order there, but oh well. So our first episode was the pets one. And I'll be honest, that episode was completely boring and uninteresting. I don't care about the pets. I kind of said it during my pre-thoughts because I knew what the episode was titled beforehand. I didn't care. Like, the entire issue going on with the new pet and everything, and the old pet's getting jealous and everything. It's like, why should I care about this story? There's no reason for me to really care. I mean, yes, there's some realism in it to where, like, sometimes when people get new pets, their old pets can get very jealous and territorial and whatnot. True. Very true. And I get that it was a cartoonish version of that, with having the animals obviously be more intelligent and whatnot. And the entire thing with the pet center place. But I just didn't find it entertaining. I didn't really find the episode that fun to watch. I just didn't care about what was going on with the story. The only really good part in the end was the girl coming and picking up Worthington, as we found out the little dog's name was. That was extremely cute, and they were. I like how the sisters and Lincoln and all were they didn't even fight it. They didn't even argue. They gave her pet back, and everything went well in the end. I did like that. But overall, the episode was just so uninteresting to me. So the second episode we reacted to, which was actually 23, that episode, oh crap, which one was that again? Oh my goodness. Now my mind's blanking because because of it being out of order, it's kind of thrown me off. So if you hear something for a second here, in fact, I'm gonna turn off the capture volume because I'm bringing it up again just to check on what the episode title was. Oh, okay. So this was the episode with all the Swiss sisters switching around bedrooms and stuff. This one was probably the most interesting of the set. I mean, yes, we've seen the sisters fight before, and that's nothing new. But seeing them switch rooms, seeing how their compatibility can go and everything with different sisters than they're normally rooming with was interesting. And I like how in the end, when they overheard Lincoln talking about how he was going to, how he wasn't having a good time with the switch that he was given, but he was going to live with it to make his sisters happy. I like how they switched everything back and made everything right again, and decided to change themselves. Like, that was really sweet and just a really nice touch. Again, the episode was really interesting, seeing how all the sisters interacted with each other in different ways than, well, honestly, we've seen before. So I did enjoy that. And then we have the third episode, which was technically episode 22. And this one, while not the most interesting in terms of its plot, was probably my favorite. Yeah, the second one was more interesting in terms of what was going on, but I think I liked the third one better. So the third one has an A plot and a B plot. And the B plot is not really anything, like, they don't focus on it, but it's kind of like this little thing that pops up every now and again. So with the A plot, Lincoln and Clyde are trying to get into yearbook photos. They're doing everything they can to get into as many group photos as they can because one of their other friends, and I don't remember their friends' names, by the way, but one of them, like, said, oh, this other guy never got into any group photos, and now he's living behind our family's barn. And it's like, one, that's ridiculous in every aspect. And two, it's like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Who cares if you weren't in any yearbook group photos? Also, why does a fucking elementary school need a yearbook? Like, high school, yeah, sure, of course. High schools are where yearbooks should be a thing. But why elementary? Seriously, that makes no sense to me. And I've never heard of an elementary school in real life giving out yearbooks. Especially not like that. In middle school, we had yearbooks. But they were these flimsy little paper things. We didn't get any real, like, good yearbooks until high school. And, I mean, I still have that yearbook as well, by the way. It's a good yearbook, and I do like looking through it every now and again. But, either way, yeah, it's not going to ruin their lives, especially in elementary school. The B plot involves Lola. There was a bad picture taken of her for the yearbook, and she wants to get it retaken. However, the coach, who's in charge of the yearbook, is just, like, completely done with this all. And he doesn't really want to do more than he needs to, so she asks Lincoln and Clyde, after finding out that they have joined the yearbook committee to, well, get themselves into the group photos, she asks them to help her by switching out her picture for them. And in what was probably, like, a really great moment for this series, one of the better moments with the sisters, especially with Lola in my eyes, Lincoln realizes he doesn't have time to switch both his and Clyde pictures in, as well as to put in Lola's. He has to make a choice, and he decides to switch out Lola's photo instead, just to make her happy, sacrificing his own happiness, or I guess even popularity and the ability to even be noticed by people. And Lola is so happy about it. She's so thankful, and just seeing her be so thankful to Lincoln and Clyde was extremely adorable. And in the end, the two of them ended up getting into the yearbook anyways, um, by just being on the yearbook staff. So it worked out. And I kind of like how they were on the crease like that. I mean, it was kind of painted as being like this negative thing almost when it was first mentioned, but I actually kind of like that because it pushes them together. We see how they're half and half, basically, two-face kind of way. um, and it shows how much of a connection, and how, as the other episode put it, how what is the word for it? I can't think of it right now. But just how compatible, that's it, how compatible they are. It's actually really good imagery. Also in the episode, we saw Lola trying to get some of her other sisters to help her get the photo done, and all of it was just not going right until Lily, the baby of all characters, having done it right. And I will talk about that because I do find it a little silly sometimes, what they do with the baby, what they do with Lily. I mean, it's already a thing that they've made Lily out to be a lot smarter and more coherent than any baby, like, logically or realistically would be. And they do so with the animals too, obviously, as we saw with this first episode of the set. And I'm not really a fan of that as it is. But on top of that, they make the baby actually really skilled at using a phone. And it's like, not even just really like skilled at being able to take pictures, but also just like knowledgeable in how to use a phone. It's a one thing to make the baby slightly intelligent in order to have some good visual gags and whatnot, but there's a point where it gets ridiculous. And it's just a little... I don't like it, personally. But, I mean, it didn't really hurt the episodes that much. Either way, this set of episodes was not the best. It wasn't the best set of episodes, but I wouldn't call it terrible either. Even the first episode here, which I wasn't a fan of, I wouldn't call it a terrible episode. I just couldn't get into it. It didn't do anything for me. But it wasn't, again, it wasn't terrible or anything. It wasn't anything really bad. It was just kind of, I guess you could say kind of mediocre. Yeah, this set definitely wasn't as good as the last. And I do want to mention one more thing before we quit as well, though. I mentioned during the pre-thoughts that there might come a point where I do need to either marathon a shit ton of episodes at once, or I would have to put it on hold for a little bit and then come back to it in the future. And it's mainly just, again, because this, with so many episodes, sometimes it just overwhelms me. And every time I watch a set, even with a mediocre set like this, I'm kind of reminded, it's like, yeah, I still love this show. I still really enjoy the show. And at this point, by the way, I'm not bringing this up again to say that I am taking a break from it. I'm not putting it on hold or anything. But I am saying that I do plan to go with that other thought about maybe marathoning more episodes than normal one week. Maybe it'll be next week, maybe the week after, who knows. But sometime in the near future, I'm thinking I want to do that because, one, I want to try to catch up a little better on this show. And two, I just think it would actually probably be a little better to do more than 3 episodes. At least once or twice every now and again. But I definitely want to catch up a little better. I want to do a little more. I want to... I just want to be able to say that I'm not, like... I don't feel, like, super behind all the time and super, like... I don't know how to put it. You know what I mean, though. And it's like, oh, but then wouldn't you feel even more overwhelmed by the show if you just watch a bunch of episodes, more so than even 3? Well, no, because I think the reason I get overwhelmed is because there's so many episodes. If I take a week or so to do a bunch more, like just this big, like, marathoning a bunch of these episodes, then in the end it'll help me get caught up faster, which will take away some of that overwhelming feeling. Because I'll be a lot closer to finishing Season 2 and getting to Season 3. And by the way, I will say this off the bat, there will be a break between Season 2 and 3 no matter what. Because I want to keep, as I said with other examples, I do want to keep the stuff on the channel fresh and keep new things coming in. I don't want to focus on the same shows for so long. But, again, the break between will not be as long as last time. Basically, when I take the break between Seasons 2 and 3, the next slot I have open, I think, will be to bring in Season 3. But we're not even at that point yet, but I'm telling you now, because I want you guys to be aware of what my plans for the future with this show are. And I really hope it continues to do a lot more great stuff with its characters. And even though this set wasn't as great as some of the previous ones, it was probably just a few episodes that weren't as good. That can happen. That doesn't mean the next set will be kind of mediocre as well. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in. Tell me your thoughts on this, these episodes in the comments below. And I do apologize once again for the order mishap and just having to cut with the reaction and all. I do apologize for that. It was an unintended mistake on my end. But yeah, like I said, I think that what I said is what happened, and I accidentally rewrote over episode 22 with episode 23 and didn't notice. So that was my fault, and I do apologize for that. But I mean, it all worked out, even if 2 of the episodes were kind of out of order. Yeah. Overall, this set was not the best, but not terrible. We've had worse episodes, we've had worse sets. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,